Hi everyone, this is Laura Stephen here from Networking Gems. I am delighted to bring to you some training tonight on Instagram. So I decided that I need to use Instagram a bit more. I want to really push forward with my Instagram, really grow it, use it as a lead generation tool a bit more than I have been. So decided to do a focus for myself. Thought it would be handy to share this information with you guys as well. So tonight I want to basically do a kickoff training to teach you a little bit of the basics about Instagram, what you need to be doing daily on a daily basis to generate leads, to increase your followers, and to really push forward with growing Instagram massively, and how that translates from Instagram into your warm market, basically, because Instagram initially is probably cold market leads, and so how do you take those from from cold market to warm market? So basically I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to talk through some of my Instagram stuff and teach you just how to set up that kind of thing. So this should hopefully work. Let me know if you can now see my phone screen. That would be handy. So in my phone screen, this is your, let me find it. It's going too far. So the Instagram is the pink one there. So if you haven't downloaded Instagram already, go ahead and download it and just set yourself up. And what I would suggest you do is you set yourself up with your own name, okay? So you're branding yourself, guys. Remember, you're not branding your company, you're not branding your specific product. So you want to be branding yourself. People will join your business because they know, like, and trust you, and you're going to be leading with value here. So make sure that you are branding yourself, and you haven't called yourself some sort of funky shortcut name or whatever. And try and keep your name congruent across your different profiles. So same username on Instagram as you've got on Facebook or as you've got on LinkedIn or Twitter, these kinds of things, and it lets people follow you on different platforms very, very easily. The other trick is to have the same profile photograph across different pages, so that people recognise you really, really easily. The very, very first thing I'm going to talk about is actually having a killer bio. So this is basically your really small retail space, which is just this top area here. And it's got to tell people who you are and what you do, basically. So you're not wanting to fill this with too much words. You want it to be snappy, you want it to be eye-catching, and you want it to be to the point, and it is actually limited to how many words you can put in there. So keep it kind of clear, keep it fun, and you should be able to get people's attention quite quickly. So as you'll see, I've got at the top here this follow Laura for MLM tips, and I've pointed an arrow up the way to, if people weren't connected with me there would be the follow button, and they could just hit the follow button straight away. I have this set up as a business account, so I have it linked to my Facebook page. That's my Facebook fan page that I have it connected to. You don't have to set that up. The benefit of doing it is that you actually get to use some analytics, which we'll get into at a later training. But if you've got it set up as a personal account, that's absolutely fine. You can still do this this follow Laura for MLM tips. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you edit your profile, where it says the first line down, you have what looks like a little TV box. That will automatically pull the name that you've used or used for your user ID down there. So you can just go in and edit that to whatever you want to call it. Obviously, you've got your link. That is your only clickable link. So that is the link that takes you back to my Facebook group, and that's because that is where I capture my leads. If you're following the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro, you'll know that we really, really highly encourage you to use that as a place to collect people so you can build know, like, and trust with them. But if you haven't got that and you've got a blog or you've got a capture page or something that you want to offer value with, you can use that as well. And then I've just kept it really short and simple here. So I'm a social media marketer. I provide free MLM training, and then I've put my call to action in there. So join my exclusive Facebook community for MLM tips to get more targeted followers, hot leads, and cash sales and reps into your business. And I put arrows down because, as you can see, it basically points down to your link. So hopefully that people will click through onto your link and come into your community and hit join, or input their information into your capture page, or subscribe to your blog, or wherever you're directing them to. So that is basically your bio. It's important that you get this right. If you don't have this right, then people won't know what you're doing. They won't really fully understand your page. And you want to make it as clear as day to who you're targeting. So this is what I do. You know, if you are selling, excuse me, if you are looking for people who are in health and wellness, you could have something more specific to that category. If you're looking for people in travel, you could have it more specific to that category of people. So it depends who your avatar is and who your target market is. So really think long and hard about who your target market is and who you're actually wanting to attract to you, because that's really important. If you haven't done that already and you're setting up your 6 steps in your group and everything, then you know this is all connected. It's all tied together with what you do with this. So that's basically the bio. That is making it killer, making it exciting, making it snappy. You make it visual with the emojis, so people are not getting bored. They're not reading a big screen. Basically, it's almost bullet points without being quite bullet points. So the next thing that is important, once you've done that, you can basically get started. The first thing that we suggest you do if this is a brand new account is to go ahead and create 6 images immediately, okay? So your 6 images are basically to make it look like you're active on your account and that you have started. If you only have 1 image or, you know, whatever, it's going to look a bit boring. People are not going to be that interested in coming on and checking out what you're sharing. So 6 images straight off. The rest of the time, I would highly recommend that you do 3 to 5 images a day to create some momentum. If you only do 1 or 2 images, which is what I've been doing in the past, you will get followers and you will get people coming in, but you're not creating a momentum, so you're not creating a following as such. It's a little bit like Facebook in the respect that there is an algorithm for Instagram, so the more you create, the more you interact with people, it's going to be reciprocal to you. So 3 to 5 images a day. And this is going to be value-based stuff 99% of the time. So there is no point in putting in image after image after image after image of before and after shots or product shots or this is the best weight loss product shot, anything like that. It's just absolutely no point because people will get bored of that. It's not what they're looking for. I'm not saying you cannot put those in, but you need to really make it worth somebody's attention. People are looking for your help. So if you are, for example, targeting health and wellness is an easy one. You could be like thinking about different recipes, you could be thinking about different exercises, different tips on how much water people should be drinking. And this is just all off the top of my head. So just get a little bit creative with what you want to create your image. So 3 to 5 images. Now I'm going to put it out there that you shouldn't be spending hours and hours on your images. If you can time yourself when you're doing your images to 5 to 10 minutes per image, 5 minutes is a fantastic amount of time to just get them out there. So you're boom, boom, boom. And actually, if you're really clever, you could create them the day before for the next day. And I'll share a little tip with you on how to do that in a bit. So my suggestion for you is to have basically an 80-10-10 rule. So 80% of what you're putting out there should be value-based. It should be interesting to the person coming on to you, having a look around, and really being the person's going to be attracted to you by what you're sharing. So you can have things like inspirational quotes, you could have top tips, you could have gratitude posts, you can have affirmations, anything that you think is going to really pull your target market towards you, anything like that is great. So tips and you know, sharing value basically. So 80% of your content should be that, and you can see that if you look through my posts, that nearly all of my posts are value-based posts. I'm sharing the knowledge that I have. I'm sharing the content that I share on a daily basis. Try and don't do too many selfies, but what I would say is 10% of your content needs to be fun. So giving a little bit of personality in there. So I do have some family pictures in there. As you can see, there's one of my son and his friends. You know, I have pictures of me with my family. I announced I was pregnant. You know, they're fun. That's just telling people a little bit about who I am. And it's mixed in amongst all this value, so you're just getting a little bit of personality in there as well. And then the final 10% can be promotional, if you really choose to have promotional products or promotional offers on your Instagram. You know, because you want to monetize this at some point, but you don't need to be doing it bang, bang, bang all the time. Just every now and again you can drop it in there. So that is basically your content that you're going to create. So how do you create that content and what do you do with it? So when you input content, obviously Instagram is all about images and short videos. You can do videos up to a minute. And the next thing you need to think about with your images is, what are you going to write on that image? It doesn't need to be long, it doesn't need to be long-winded. It can be quite short, it can be snappy. But your trick is going to be using the right hashtags. So again, people are going to search for you, search for your information using hashtags primarily. So you need to work out what hashtags are going to be the right hashtags for you and for your target market. So put yourself in their shoes. What are they searching for? What are they interested in? What hashtags is going to pull their attention? And you actually get up to 30 hashtags. So I'd highly recommend going ahead and using all of them, because you know, keep them quite niche, because basically if you put things like follow for follow and things like that, then basically everybody will follow you because they think you're going to follow them back, or like for like, that kind of hashtags. They don't really work. They're not effective. They're not the right type of hashtag for who you want to be. You want to be much more specific with your hashtags and really getting in there, aiming bang on your target market and what they would be looking at. So you can go ahead and use those hashtags to your advantage. And you know, I'll talk again more across December about different hashtags that you can use and where you can find hashtags and suggestions and stuff like that. But this is really just to get you started. So I mean, even if you don't all use all 30, just start playing about with the hashtags and seeing what kind of results you start getting. So so where do I create all this content? Well, there are lots of different apps you can use. So I'm just going to come out of Instagram for a minute, and I'm going to show you a couple. One of them is computer-based. So if you're not a huge mobile person, then that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. You can create great images using a computer-based app called canva.com. That's canva.com. And there's images in there that are free. You can use the basis of it. You can pick images. You can pick different shapes. You can put in words. You can put in different colors. You can even brand it to an extent. If you've got like a logo or a group name or anything like that, or just stick your own username on the bottom. Just brand yourself. So that's a really, really good one. The other ones I wanted to show you that are fast and great fun are, the first one is Instaquote. So this is just an old one that I've had. So you just basically reset your workspace. Now there is a free version of this. I have upgraded because it was like £2 or something. It was really, really cheap. So I've upgraded and got slightly more options, as you'll see along the bottom here, for different styles. But the basic one gives you 5 or 6 different options that you can use. So you can actually pick a background. So let's just go with classic, for example. And then you can tap and write whatever you like in here. Lets me do it. So you could put in a quote or something that you think, or something you've said that day, or something you've picked up out of a book, and then you can actually say who said it. Even better, if you're really stuck for something to write, if you hit these little arrows, it actually brings up some quotes for you. So you can just keep hitting this until there's one that you find that you like, and you can just do that. It's amazing. It's a really, really quick, fast way to put something out there on Instagram if you are struggling and you think, I don't know what to write today. So I quite like that one. The cure for boredom is curiosity, and there's no cure for curiosity by Ellen Parr. So you just hit, yeah. And then you can play about with the colours, you can play about with the writing, you can change the colours of the words, the fonts, all these kinds of things. Obviously, it looks slightly different. I use a Android phone. It looks very slightly different on an iPhone, but the gist of it is the same. So if I was going to do, I want to share that. I'm going to share it to Instagram, or you could save it to your gallery as well. If you wanted to share it later, so you could sit and create all of these. And then you can just go ahead and share it straight off. As I say, as you can see here, you can change the colors, you can change the layout, all these kinds of things right down here in the filters. And then it takes you straight into Instagram because it's linked to your Instagram account, and you can share it from there. So you could just write a caption and post it straight away with some tags. So that's Instaquote. It's fantastic. It's a great way to just get some content out there, super snappy, super quick. The next thing that I wanted to show you, which I love, is Studio App. This is a good one for creating images. So as I said, I use canva.com 99% of the time, but I also use this one for a quick fix if I'm out and about with my phone. So you could go to Pixabay or Unsplash or any of these places that give us free images, download an image, and then create this by putting in layers. So if I just scroll up, I'll let you see some of the ones I've done. I've just basically superimposed writing on top of things. So it's a really easy app, and you basically just create layers. I'm not going to go into it in huge detail because it's fairly self-explanatory, and I'd rather spend the time talking to you about a few other things. So those are my 3 top things for creating information, and I really highly recommend you just get stuck in, guys. Don't overthink it. Just try it, see how you go. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Perfection is not going to help you in this situation. Just get out there and get it done. People want to see your message, and they want to know what it is you want to share. So I'm going to go back into Instagram. So now that you've got yourself set up, I'm just going to come out of that. I'm not going to share that for the moment. How do you get followers? So there's a few different ways you can get followers. The very first thing is when you go into Instagram, you actually can connect it to your Facebook account. Highly recommend doing that. It will boost you straight off with a good handful of followers, depending on how many of your Facebook people are on Instagram. So you can do that through your settings on Instagram, and it's a really quick way to get yourself some followers. And now so on Facebook and other social medias that you're on Instagram, and use your link to your Instagram account. So it's instagram.com/ and then your username. It's a great way to just get people to connect with you, ask them to connect with you. So it's a great way to do it. And then start using Instagram daily to find people that are right for you. So there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can use hashtags, and you can also keep your eyes on your competitors. So the very first one I'm going to do is talk to you about what we call the 5-5-5. Now, this is not supposed to take up a lot of your time. So if you've created 3 to 5 images, and you've spent 5 minutes on each image, and then you do your 5-5-5 once a day at least, maybe twice if you've got time, you can break it up. It doesn't need to be within 15 minutes. If you're standing in the queue at the shop, you could do 5 minutes of it. If you're waiting at the doctor's surgery, you could do another 5 minutes. Just try and fit it in where you can. Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat tonight. So basically the 555 is this. You're going to do 5 minutes searching by hashtag. So this is, oh, I just come out of that, didn't need to do that. So this is basically where you are searching a hashtag that you know your followers are gonna want to do. So you hit the search button, which is a little icon at the bottom that looks like a search tool, and you can put in here, you can put in a word, you can call it, let's just say, work from home. Can't type tonight. And then click tags, and this is going to bring up all the images that I've got this tag. So you've got your top posts at the top, and I like to go down to more recent posts, and you can literally just click on it and start double tapping each photograph, okay? So double tap, that's quite a cute one. Double tap, double tap, double tap, and you can see I'm liking these pictures. So if you spend 5 minutes doing each of these, obviously if something's not in English and you don't understand it, possibly don't double tap it. Or something's really offensive to you, don't like it. You know, so that's one way to do it. So spend 5 minutes doing that. The next thing you want to do is actually go into your own followers once you start to get some followers. And let's see if I can find my followers actually. I've forgotten how to find them. And you're going to do 3 likes and 1 comment, okay? So you're going to actually, instead of clicking on the photograph, you're going to click onto this person's thing, and you're going to do 3 likes. This is maybe not the best profile to show you, but 3 likes. In fact, I like this message, so I would probably put the comment on this message. Awesome message. Don't be generic with this, guys. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but it's interaction, and the more you interact, even with your current followers, the more they're going to keep coming back to check you out, and they will eventually click that link in the bio. Awesome message to put out there. And then tag the person that, if you can. If you can't tag them, don't worry about it, but I can't remember who this person is. Terrible. Till it's getting late, so Joe. And you know, if you know their name, then great, write their name, personalize it. And do that for, you know, for a handful of your followers each day. It doesn't need to be the same followers each day. So that's the second 5 minutes you're going to spend. And the third 5 minutes is to do the very same thing using a different hashtag. So let's call it work from home moms, just hitting the Americans. You can just search for that. And instead of just liking the photos, you're actually going to go in to the person's profile. So you're going to go into that profile, and you're going to start to do exactly the same thing. So, you know, let's do 3 likes, and a comment. So a brand is an experience, good, bad, or indifferent, nothing more. And then he's got lots of information on how your brand works, which is really cool. This is look online. And basically what you're doing is, without having to follow loads and loads of people, you are catching these people's eyes. You're hoping that basically by the fact that you have drawn their attention to you, they're going to come over and check you out. post that. So do that for 5 minutes. And pick different hashtags each time you do it. And that way you're going to create a wide range of things to look at. So if you can do those each day, so basically you're creating 3 to 5 images a day, then you're doing the 5-5-5 method at least once, if not a couple of times if you've got time, you will start to gain followers from that. The other thing that you can do is, as I said, is you can actually target your competitors or your people in your niche. For example, I go for the big guns. So these people are in my niche, are professionals, are you hit people there instead of tags. They're professionals, they're people who are giving out good advice every day. They're people you probably follow. But these people, Eric Worre has 81.3 thousand followers. Those followers are all people who would probably want to follow me too. Actually, because I'm more into connecting, because he's so big now, he doesn't instantly connect with you on a one-to-one basis, you know, his message gets out there anyway. I can use this to actually find out who his followers are. So I can click on followers and I can start to go through these people, and I can do the three likes, 1 comment, or I could just go straight ahead and follow them. And it's going to hopefully just bring them back to you to either follow for follow, or you know, come and find out what your page is about. So it's a really, really good way. So again, you don't need to spend a lot of time doing this. Just spend 10 minutes a day just getting yourself out there and kind of having a look at who's around and who's following your page. It's basically the same principles as you would use on other social media sites, on Facebook and stuff, except you don't need to spend a lot of time doing that. So the final thing I wanted to talk about is, what do you do when people start to follow you? Well, there are automated messages you can use, but to be honest, Instagram doesn't really like them, and it's a way of getting yourself in Instagram jail. You're actually better to be looking specifically at the people who are connecting with you. So I just hit that love heart. It tells me what actions have happened lately. So these people have started following me. So Kerry's Little Treats, for example, I followed her back. So I can just click on her and I can actually just send her a message, a direct message saying, how's it going? Great to connect, thanks for liking, thanks for following, and you know, would love to connect with you across in my coaching community, and you know, check out the link, and then tag yourself again, because the link in your bio, remember, is the only clickable link. So you want to just constantly put that call to action back. So on your images, you want to put a call to action where appropriate. And again, just tag yourself in the call to action so that people will just not have to find you again. They're like, oh, who is this person? I can just tag on their name, takes me back to their profile. I can go straight to their bio link. And you can do the same in messages as well. So they're a really handy way to just get things going. So you start sending these people messages. Instagram messaging is not that user friendly. So if you can get them across to Facebook or somewhere more user friendly, then it's going to be easier for you to have communication. And you know, take them through the same process that you would when they join your community. Get to know them, get to like them, get to trust them, and get them to know, like, and trust you. Use something that they have put up in their profiles and in their Instagram gallery that you can connect with. You know, if they've traveled, you may say, oh, I saw you were on holiday, it looks like it was an amazing time, where were you? Open questions create conversation. So it's not rocket science, guys. You guys know all of this already, so just go ahead and do it. But the thing about Instagram is being consistent. If you can do it every single day, 5 images, 3 to 5 images, 5-5-5, so 5 minutes liking, 5 minutes connecting with your current followers through 3 likes and 1 comment, and then a different hashtag where you do 5 minutes of 3 likes and 1 comment, you will start to get followers. And then have a look, spend some time looking at your niche market experts pages. Who are they followers? Start to connect with them, start to reach out to them, and then follow through with people who are liking and commenting on your stuff. Send them messages, connect with them, you know, feel free to follow them back. And we'll talk about following and unfollowing a bit more as the month goes on and how you can do it. So I hope that's been of use to you. I'm ready to get started tomorrow. I hope all of you are too. And what I'm going to say to you to do is, if you can take a screenshot of your Instagram tonight and post it under mine on the chat thread, so we can see how many followers you've got. It doesn't matter to me whether you have 0 followers, 5 followers, 5,000 followers, 500 followers, whatever. It's about the growth that you're going to see. It's about lead indicators. So if you can do that and you can be brave and put that up there, then you're going to know by the end of December just how successful this has been and what has worked for you, what's not worked for you. The whole idea of this is to help you gain leads. So as I say, let me know if you found this useful, and I'll be posting the replay so you can come back to this if you need to take additional notes or you haven't managed to catch me live. So I'm just going to come out of this screen share. And if you've got any questions, feel free to just give us a shout and let me know. And we will see you through the month and hopefully get you some amazing Instagram links. Okay, take care. Bye.